Look at what people are doing. Check it out.
Yes, he is drunk.
Well, poo.
Ukrainian Su-27 fighter jets carried out precision strikes on concentrations of Russian troops and ammunition using GBU-62 guided bombs. The devastating attacks left entire positions buried, earning among locals the grim nickname concrete burial technology. The strikes highlight Ukraine's growing use of advanced Western munitions to break fortified enemy defenses. Ukrainian forces have damaged and flooded an underground pipe near Kupiansk that was previously used by Russian troops. This was reported by Yuri Fedorenko, commander of the 429th Achilles Separate Regiment of Unmanned Systems, on Espresso TV. Currently, the enemy's movement is not detected by this pipe. Due to the constant fire in the combat zone, it was not possible to dig out the pipe using engineering equipment, so the defenders blocked the valves and used engineering ammunition to destroy it. According to the commander, he then carried out underground work, which made it possible to use the pipe as a way to move. A series of fire attacks near the Oskil River damaged the structure and flooded it, forcing the enemy to use the Oskil crossing. Fedorenko emphasized that this does not rule out the possibility of restoring the pipe later, so it is being closely monitored. If the enemy attempts to pump out water, weld or align the pipe, if it has not been critically damaged, the defense forces already have a proven algorithm for redamaging it. On September 12th, deep state analysts reported that Russian troops used a gas pipe to set up logistics to the outskirts of Kupiansk. This is the third recorded case of the use of pipelines, after Avdiivka and Sudzha. Unlike the previous episodes, when they were used to bring assault groups into the rear of the Ukrainian defense, this time it is about creating a secure supply channel across the Oskil River. The gas pipeline does not enter the city limits, so organized enemy groups can enter the village of Radkivka without significant losses, and from there head to the forest area they control. This allows them to accumulate forces for further attempts to penetrate Kupiansk. Several main pipelines pass near the city, including the Shebelinka-Ostrohotsk gas pipeline, with a pipe diameter of 700 to 1,220 millimeters. The Togliatti-Odessa ammonia pipeline also runs through the community, but its pipes are much smaller, about 355 millimeters in diameter. Later, on September 13th, it became known that there are several pipelines in the area of Kupiansk. 3 of the 4 lines have already been damaged and flooded, and the outlet of the 4th is under the control of the defense forces. Since the start of the operation, enemy losses have totaled 395 people in 2 weeks, 288 of them irrecoverable. A total of 265 Russians were neutralized on the approaches to Kupiansk, near the villages of Radkivka and Holubivka. In the area of the city itself, another 128. The Russian world in 2025. In occupied Donetsk, residents fight over water. A man films his neighbors pumping water upstairs with a motor, leaving others without any supply.
On what basis do you live in this apartment?
Enigma. Guys, beer, you saw 9. Look at what people are doing. Check it out.
Yes, he is drunk.
Well, poo.
Take a picture of him. Look. People have no water. They are pumping it out. Look, they set up a pump.
What date?
Common pipes!
What date? Into the common.
What date?
September 14th. Schedule. No, schedule. We are watching.
Schedule.
Let's see. Guys, look. The main pipe goes to the entrance. They installed it on the 5th floor, pumping water.
They didn't install it for themselves.
Oh, who did you set it up for? Neighbors. Look here. And they are pumping the main pipe that people are waiting for, even to fill in the basement. And they don't care. They say, today there's no supply. Today we will suck. Yes, with the pump. Well, guys, I will post you.
And I think it will reach certain authorities. Where is this and how should it be?
Regarding the major scandal involving detained South Korean workers in the U.S., South Korea's government has announced that it is launching an investigation into human rights abuses said to have been carried out by the United States ICE agency against South Korean workers deported from Georgia following further damaging testimony from the deportees. The government said today that it plans to immediately begin a joint investigation involving the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Justice, and the company regarding the human rights violations against our citizens detained in the U.S. state of Georgia. To this end, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is currently consulting with the company representatives. An official says it will need to discuss specific investigation methods with the company representatives. We expect to begin as soon as preparations are complete. The Ministry of Justice will also participate in the investigation, once it has consulted on who will be invited to contribute. It's likely that the authorities will seek to interview the detained workers individually to obtain their accounts, as it did not previously have the opportunity for individual discussions during consular visits to the detainees. An official says that consular representatives met with 50 people at a time, and the focus was on urgent matters, so there likely wasn't enough time for each individual to fully express their concerns. The government has already said that it will take unspecified action against the U.S. if the full investigation identifies human rights violations against its citizens. It is under pressure from the public and media to hold the U.S. government to account over the incident. Kwok Tai-hwan, former president of the Korea Institute for National Unification, writes that the sight of the workers being transported in handcuffs and shackles shocked South Korean society, and anti-American sentiment is rapidly spreading. This incident is not simply an immigration enforcement matter. It is a grave diplomatic matter that tests the dignity and diplomatic trust of the citizens of an ally. The U.S. government cannot help but question whether it is justifiable to treat its allies with such disregard and inhumane treatment. Even the most basic courtesy toward allies has been neglected. Diplomacy cannot function solely on laws and institutions. Without mutual respect and trust, an alliance is nothing more than a shell. Kwok calls for Trump to apologize, for the victims' honor to be restored and their re-entry must be guaranteed, for a short-term technician visa arrangement to be implemented, and for human rights protections to be implemented in the U.S.'s alliance agreements. Politicians have also called for similar steps. The South Korean government has said that the U.S. has agreed to erase the deportees' detention records so that their future return is not prohibited. South Korean public opinion has come out strongly against the U.S. government's actions. In a survey, 59.2% of respondents said they were disappointed by the U.S. government's excessive measures. 30.7% said they understood the U.S. government's actions as unavoidable, while 10.2% said they were not sure. South Korean internet users have denounced the U.S. government and announced their cancellation of Tesla orders in favor of equivalent Korean electric vehicles. Although Hyundai says it wants to continue with building out its planned Georgia plant, the newspaper Jungang says that it will be difficult to persuade the deported workers, many of whom are elite specialists, to risk another trip to the U.S. The paper reports that the ICE raid occurred during the equipment installation and commissioning preparation stages of the factory construction. Typically, Korean engineers operate the equipment, make fine adjustments, and train local engineers before withdrawing. However, this time, the raid stopped work at the commissioning stage. Some of the equipment uses special construction methods that require only the most elite team members from partner companies to set up, making and finding replacement personnel virtually impossible.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.